Revelation 16:18. A star. An enormous quake will shake the earth. Spiritually as well as physically, the earth will face a tremor humans have never experienced as yet, since the beginning of this epoch. But this is prophesied, for it is the initiation to the end that will follow not long after that. There is no long period left, and your attention to this is pressing more and more, because you are to make use of every day yet to help maturing your soul, for the time is short and you are approaching the very end with giant steps. And there will follow a long night for all who have not made use of the day to work for the well-being of the soul. For there will be just a few to survive this last end and to be allowed to live on the new earth. A few only will stand firm in the last battle on this earth. Again and again, the signs of the end are being presented to you humans, and the last colossal sign is the great quake. The way it will come about you were told already. A star leaves its orbit and heads for the earth with gigantic speed. The reason why you don't know anything about it as yet is due to the great distance this star will have to cover yet until it enters the focus range of those who will notice it. But at that point the excitement will be big, because everybody recognizes the danger the star Earth now is in, but nobody can do anything about it to remove the danger. And, since you're aware of it, this last short time you ought to utilize especially well. For none of you knows as to whether or not he will survive the event. None of you knows which part of the earth will be particularly befallen, and nobody should count on being spared, for it is the last big reminding call of God which he still lets sound prior to the end in order to find faith for just this end and a turnaround of the few who are not quite enslaved to the adversary altogether as yet. Do not think lightly about these prophecies. Do not let yourselves be disconcerted by the apparent work of building up you can observe from the side of the world, but be aware that the shadows of annihilation are already showing up. There's not much time left to pass by until you will receive word of that disaster approaching you in the form of a star to be hurled out of its orbit, because it is God's will that the earth be stricken by a quake that is meant to, and can possibly save those people whose will is good. There truly won't be a lack of signs for the close end, but this one sign has a tremendous effect, and many people will lose their life in the course of it. And no one will be able to play deaf, for it is too enormous than that it couldn't possibly touch everybody. Only, the success is different, for people will partly revive their weak faith and again return to God, but also partly lose their weak faith and completely turn to the opponent, which will be expressed in chasing after material possessions, mostly in an illegitimate manner. And there will be a great misery amongst people. And that's when the true faith will prove itself, which means help for every person who faithfully submits to God. For he will help all those who want to be his, who in their greatest affliction remember him who alone is able to help. And the time will begin where there will have to be performed proper vineyard work for the sake of helping all those who are still weak in the spirit and are to experience a strengthening of their faith. For that's when the time of the last struggle of faith will follow, that will still demand a last decision of the believers, yet, whoever will be steadfast until the end shall be blessed. Amen.